Good evening, everybody. This is Rob for another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight. And my guest tonight is Scott Chase, who is part of the Cincinnati Ghostbusters. How's it going?
It's going well, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, when we were talking before the show started, you're gonna get ready to build your own Ecto One.
Yes. We're the daughter's been excited about doing one, and so went ahead and decided I have like an Audi, and we're starting to outfit that into an Ecto. The Audi is black, so we're going with the original idea of how the Ecto was supposed to be, which was black and purple. But they nixed that idea because obviously they couldn't film a black Ecto on film, so that's why they turned the original Ecto white.
That's pretty interesting, and I did not know about that. I mean, I know a lot about Ghostbusters, but I did not know about the color scheme of the Ecto One before it was white. That's I've learned something. Yeah, go ahead.
So it's a work in progress. I mean, hopefully we'll have it. It'll be mostly 90% complete by the time we do Cincinnati Comic-Con.
Oh, I know. I love Cincinnati Comic-Con, which is next month. That is such a fun show.
And we're excited. That's going to be our first show. And we're actually hosting that ourselves as the Cincinnati Ghostbusters, because we're a part of the real Ohio Ghostbusters. We help them out with Slime Time at Scene 75, Land of Illusions, Horror Hound. So we have a real good time and real nice relationship with them.
So how did Cincinnati Ghostbusters come to be?
Well, we originally joined with the real Ohio Ghostbusters because we were looking for a group, because we have the gear and we started getting the gear and all that. My daughter is really into Ghostbusters, and I pretty much live my life through her, which is pretty good. So it's the best of both worlds. We both enjoy it. So we joined with the real Ohio Ghostbusters, and we helped them in their events, raise money for Make-A-Wish. And they're kind of more in the middle of Ohio, like up in Dayton, stuff like that. And we're located in Independence, Florence, Kentucky. So we're in the greater Cincinnati area. And we wanted to try and see if there was a group that was a little bit closer, and we couldn't find one. There was a Cincinnati Ghostbusters Facebook page. Had been dormant for a while. We reached out to them. They weren't very into it. So me and Kelsey decided to start our own franchise. So that's what we've done. And in the past couple of years, we've grown pretty quickly by going to different events. We've been this year we actually have geared up over 26 times, and the year ain't even anywhere close to being over yet.
And that's pretty good. What got you to fall in love with the film Ghostbusters, and then how did you get your daughter into being a huge Ghostbusters fan as well?
Well, just a slapstick comedy. Dan Aykroyd, grew up with Dan Aykroyd through all the different films in Saturday Night Live, stuff like that. One day, me and my daughter Kelsey were sitting there watching TV, and Ghostbusters came on, and she just fell in love with it right then and there. And so we watched the first one, and then we watched the second one. Then we watched the remake of 2016. She loves them all. So then she asked, about getting a Proton pack. So then we got a Proton pack, and we started building a Proton pack together, and then get her a costume and all that stuff. And last year, she was in her yearbook 5 different times because of dressing up as a Ghostbuster at school. So it's been pretty good. She enjoys it.
I bet she does, and that's too cool. You and your daughter have that great bonding experience and doing something you guys enjoy, especially Ghostbusters, which is, pretty cool. You guys also saw Afterlife, too. What'd you guys think of Ghostbusters Afterlife?
It was great, and it blew my daughter away. She was just like, wow, because she's seen the other ones. But when she saw that one and how they tied it all together, she was blown away. So,
and I bet she's excited to meet a couple of the cast members from Ghostbusters Afterlife at Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Of course. She is so looking forward to that.
Oh, I know you are.
She cannot wait to meet McKenna Grace and Logan Kim. It's going to be a great show.
That'd be pretty awesome. So have you guys ventured out to New York to see the firehouse yet?
Yes, we did that a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
It was my birthday week.
Okay.
We went out. We were actually invited to New Jersey for Kevin Smith's birthday. So we took our costumes and the Stay Puft, Marshmallow Man, and Slimer. We brought them out to New Jersey, and we kind of made like a little mini trip. So while we were out that way, we hit Tribeca, went to the firehouse, did our pictures, and gave them our patches, and they put our patches up on display there at the firehouse. So anytime anybody goes to the firehouse, you're going to see the Cincinnati, Ohio Ghostbuster patches up there.
So that fire station, that's like a live working fire station too, right?
Yes, it is, 24/7.
So what was it like to step right there, and did any of the firefighters that worked there had any interesting stories to tell you guys?
Oh, they were great. I mean, with it being a working firehouse, everybody there was very generous and very kind, taking pictures and very knowledgeable about everything with the firehouse. And they have souvenirs that you can pick up while you're there. They have T-shirts so you can support the Ladder 8. That's the only place you can get the challenge coin. You can't get the challenge coin online. You have to actually go to the firehouse to get the challenge coin.
So what is the challenge coin?
Challenge coin is it's actually a coin of the firehouse.
Okay.
And Ghostbusters.
That's pretty interesting. I'll definitely have to. I definitely have to go up there and get the challenge coin myself. So what?
Well, you could have an opportunity to win one at a raffle at Cincinnati Comic Expo.
I definitely will. I'm going to sign up for that, baby. And plus, I'm going to be getting a lot of video of you guys too, and I'm going to make you do the famous Ghostbuster dance.
Hey, we'll be looking forward to it.
When you were up there, what was it like to go to Kevin Smith's birthday party?
Oh, that was great. Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, they're great individuals. We met them when they were in Chicago. We went to Chicago Comic Expo there. That was Fan Expo? Yeah. So that was Chicago Fan Expo. We went out there. We met Kevin Smith and the whole cast of Clerks and Clerks 2. And it was a really great time. And Kevin Smith is real down-to-earth, real nice guy. And if you ever meet him, he meets you with open arms.
Yes, he will. He's very genuine. I met him at Fan Expo Cleveland, and I was in line. I was going to get a photo op with him, so I was standing there when it was my turn. Kevin Smith stared at me. I stared at him, and he gave me this sincere, genuine look, and he goes, "Can I give you a hug?" And I I looked at him funny, and I was looking around. I looked at the photographer, was looking around going, is he talking to me? He goes, yeah, I'm talking to you. So I went up. He gave me the most friendliest, coolest hug ever, man. And, he said, thanks for coming. You know something? Actually, Kevin Smith is a cool, genuine guy. And it felt good getting a hug by him, man.
Yes. I mean, he's so great. Like I said, he met me and Kelsey in full gear. Loves what we do. And that's how we got invited out to New Jersey. He's just like, this is great. We love what you do. And he's like, keep on doing it. He's like, I have to put my daughter in my own movies because she wouldn't dress up with me. It was totally great.
So when you were up there, did you get a chance to stop by Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash in the Quick Stop?
Of course. We got pictures with them at the stash, and then we ran up to the Quick Stop, and me and Kelsey got our pictures, standing outside of the Quick Stop, and we went inside and we ordered 2 lottery tickets and a soda, so it was a good time.
Exactly. Too bad the old movie store's not next door.
Right. Well, Kevin Smith is in the talks of actually buying that whole place.
Is he really?
Yes, because at the end of the shop, that's where they broadcast their Smodcast. So they had the Smodcast studio there. But he's in talks of buying out the Quick Stop, which is an actual functioning store right.
That would be pretty cool. I would love to see him do that. That would be neat. That would be perfect too, since Clerks 3 is going to be coming out.
Yes, I'm excited for that. Hopefully you're getting your ticket and you're going to go.
Oh, I bought my ticket through Fathom Events. I'm definitely going to be there. And fingers crossed it's going to be better than Clerks 2.
Right. Well, apparently, because we were going to, I was hoping to hang my gear up by the middle of December.
Uh-huh.
December, I think the first weekend of December, he's going to be in Columbus for the expo there.
Oh, I know. I'll definitely be up there too. Oh my gosh, man, what is this? Are you stalking me? I'm going to see you at so many different conventions this year. What's up with that?
Hey, we're stalking each other, it seems like.
Hey, you know something? That's absolutely true. We are stalking each other. Oh my gosh. So, since being part of the Cincinnati Ghostbusters, what was some of so far doing it? Have you had any a favorite memorable moment?
Well, there's so many of them. I mean, the best is just when a grown adult comes up, like, hey, can we get our picture with you? And it's like, of course. And then when I, take out the Neutrino wand and I hand it to a 45-year-old, and he turns into a 5-year-old, like instant, biggest smile, and it's the greatest picture ever. And that's I like that moment, and I also like the look in kids' faces when they're standing there looking at a Ghostbuster, or we bring out the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We bring him out. People just go crazy. So.
That's pretty funny. So your Proton pack, how long did it take you to build that and put all the cool stuff on that?
I mean, I'm not fully 100% done with it, but to date, it probably took a good year to get it to where I got it now, because it's made of fiberglass and in a resin. All electronics, and it'll do smoke, lights, and sound, and play the theme song from Ghostbusters. It's pretty nice. Now, the only thing that isn't nice about it is when you're on your feet for a good 6 hours, wearing a 45-pound Proton pack on your back, along with all the other equipment. So it makes for a long day.
I bet it does. It probably gives you a workout because I've talked to some other Ghostbusters from different groups, and also put on one of those Proton packs, and those suckers get heavy. And I don't know how you guys do it walking around with that all day. I mean, I bet that, dude, I bet you just want to.
A couple hours, I'm like, what am I doing?
You're like this. I bet after the show's over, you're like, you know something, I want this pack off. I'm going to go home, take my boots off, and relax.
Right? Well, like when Kelsey and I was in Chicago.
Okay.
That was 8 hours on our feet in full gear.
Okay.
Nonstop. Because we didn't have like a booth that we could actually put our stuff down. So we were in full gear all day. And I swear by the time we got to the truck, it felt like I was walking on Legos. I was so done. I was ready. Get this thing off.
I would have done the same thing. So of all the so for the cast members of Ghostbusters, have you met any of them? Have you met Ernie Hudson or Dan Aykroyd or any of them?
I've met Dan Aykroyd. It was several years ago when he was doing his DACA tour.
Okay.
Crystal Head DACA out at Jungle Gyms, and he actually autographed my Proton pack.
And I bet you were probably excited like a little schoolboy for Christmas, going, yes.
Yeah. Like, the man has signed it, and I was looking forward to Ernie Hudson. I'm trying to think of where I was going to see him at.
Okay.
That he ended up canceling. I wanted to say it was like Lexington or something like that.
Okay.
Last year. But no biggie. We'll catch him. We'll catch him sooner or later.
Oh, you definitely will, man. You definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
You were also telling me when I talked to you, like a month ago, you were doing a special charity for somebody. It was for a toy.
We do. We raise money for Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
Charities. It depends on what the charity is. I mean, we're always trying to help out with any kind of children's charities or organizations in the tri-state area.
That's pretty good. So, what's the qualifications and membership for somebody if they wanted to join your group that are just as of a big fan and respectful of the whole Ghostbuster universe?
Right. Well, you got to be a fan. It does help. You don't have to be a big super fan like I am, and your whole basement looks like Ghostbusters threw up in it. But what we request is as we keep doing more and more of these conventions, and more of these conventions are going to be actually hosted by us. We've come up with, we're going to request anybody that wants to be a full-fledged member to at least help out in a minimum of 4 events total.
Okay.
Before you can become an actual member. And that way we know that it's we all get along. You see?
Yeah.
Because and it's tough because I mean it takes a lot, especially to be able to have a schedule, because we do have several members of the Cincinnati Ghostbusters that haven't been able to help out at events because we do events that are up in Dayton and stuff like that. Like, we travel, and some of our other members don't want to travel that far, which I get it. With the way gas prices are and cost of events and everything else, it's totally fine.
Now, you have a big Ghostbuster collection in your basement. You definitely need to invite me over so we can do a show about that. because
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely would love to share that on my YouTube channel, your whole collection. So, how long have you been collecting Ghostbusters memorabilia, and what is your most prized possession of your collection?
Ooh, most prized possession. I'm going to have to say, well, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. I'm going to have to say my arcade.
Okay.
I have an arcade that plays over 600 different games, and it's all outfitted with Ghostbusters on the side, and it does virtual pinball, all that stuff. I would say that's probably my number one, and then my Proton pack be my number two.
Nice.
They're both tough.
I bet it is.
Skateboard collection. So, like, we have every one of the Ghostbusters skateboards that were made by who was it that made them?
You're thinking, you're like, come on, you're getting this. Come on, you got this. You got this.
Element skateboards, I got it. So, yeah, that was a tough collection because they have 6 different boards.
Okay.
And the Zool, which was a complete board, it came with wheels and trucks. That was the one that I didn't pull the trigger on.
Uh-huh.
And that ended up being the one that was impossible to find.
Really?
That one took me a year and a half to finally find it, and I found it in the UK, brand new, and it took some finagling, and I got the guy to finally ship it to me.
Oh, dude, that's a pretty long far right across the pond, man.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh. So, what do you? That is wild.
You would definitely love the basement. The basement is it's nothing but Ghostbusters. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take a tour. I definitely will have to come over for a tour, and we'll definitely have to do like a video for my YouTube channel. Talk about your collection. Be like, hey, this guy has this awesome collection. I mean, I've seen tons of collections of people and their fandoms, and I'm at like, I mean, I have a lot of stuff too, because when people come look at my stuff, they say, oh, it looks like an expensive 4th grader lives here.
Right? I totally get it. And with us doing all these different conventions, I mean, it gets more and more out of control because my daughter has no self-control either. So she's no help whatsoever. She doesn't be like, damn, we already got one of those. Go ahead and get it. The coolest thing, and it's not Ghostbuster, but when we were in Chicago.
Okay.
There was these twins. They're called the Chalk Twins.
Okay.
So they go to these different conventions, and they will render a piece of art during the whole expo. The two of them making it out of chalk.
Okay.
Well, when we were in Chicago, we were leaving, and we stumbled across them, and it was a huge Mandalorian and a child. It's 7 feet wide. 7 feet tall by 6 feet wide. Wow. So we stopped, and Kelsey was like, wow, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, it is. And they were like, well, if you like it, you can, we're doing a silent auction on it. I was like, okay. Well, what's the price on it? He said, well, the starting bid is $300. Somebody already bet $300. I was like, oh, okay. So I put in $305.
Okay.
I didn't think there's no way
that
I'm going to win this thing. Because they had a buy it now price of $6,000.
Wow.
And right. So I'm like, there's no way. We're coming back from Chicago, and I get a call on my phone. It's like, hey, Scott, guess what? You won the Mandalorian. Oh my God. So I had this huge Mandalorian and a child hanging up at my entryway, which is awesome. Daughter loves it. She was more happier than I was. But maybe.
Oh, no, you guys were both happy. Come on now. And when you won that, your jaw must have hit the floor.
Right? And then I'm like, well, where am I going to put it? She wanted it in her room. I'm like, it won't fit on your wall.
And she's like, huh?
Right? Well, after I put it in where the entryway is, now she understands. She's like, wow, that thing is big. I was like, yeah, I told you.
So, what do you think about the new Ghostbusters animated series they're coming out with?
I'm excited about that. Kelsey's really excited. She's starting to get into the whole animated series of Ghostbusters. So she really enjoys it, and I'm excited about it. It's been a long time, and I think they're going to do well with it.
I think so too. You know what else would be cool? I would love to meet the original animated cast. That would be cool.
Right? Well, see, and we've also been thinking about doing the animated costumes.
You should. That would be so cool.
Right? I think there's actually a company out there that is doing a line of them.
Really?
They're a little pricey, but they're sharp. Magnolia, I think it is.
Yeah, I think I seen that. Yeah, because I sent you a link on that. You're like, oh,
I think you even sent me a link.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I already seen that. And I was like, okay.
Don't get heartbroken. My daughter does the same thing. She'd be like, Dad, have you seen this? And it's the 15-foot inflatable Stay Puft that they're coming out with this year. And I'm like, yeah, baby girl, I already seen that. She's like, you see it all. I was like, well, anything that's related to Ghostbusters, usually I catch that pretty quick.
You're like this. You're like, I'm all over that stuff.
Right? Well, between all the different Facebook pages and groups that are out there, I mean, by the time you see something, I mean, case in point, when we were coming back from New Jersey, I hadn't even posted pictures of Stay Puft with Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes.
Okay.
A buddy of mine sends me a text, and he says, famous. And I'm like, famous? And then here comes the picture of me dressed up as Stay Puft with Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. And I'm like, how did you get that? I haven't even posted pictures yet. He's like, it's all over Kevin Smith. I was like, that is awesome.
You definitely need to send me that picture. I need to see that for myself.
Yes. Well, you can follow us on Facebook. We're working on our Instagrams. I mean, we have the Instagrams going, but I haven't put them on our other platforms for everybody to follow.
Okay, so
we get an easier. That way, people know where we're going to be, when we're going to be.
Yeah. So, what is the name of your Facebook page for the listeners who are listening to us?
It's Cincinnati Ghostbusters for Facebook, and we're Cincinnati Ghostbusters under Instagram, and we have Cincinnati Stay Puft for Facebook and Cincinnati Stay Puft for Instagram, and we have Slimer, which is Cincinnati Slimer on Facebook and Cincinnati Slimer on Instagram, and soon we'll have Muncher. So the guy that has made our other costumes is working on making us a Muncher costume.
Oh, nice.
Which is, my daughter's been dying for that one.
Oh, I bet she has.
It actually talked me into that one. She's like, can we get a Muncher? It's like, yes, we can get a Muncher.
That's pretty cool. Skot, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story about you and your daughter and your passion for Ghostbusters and the Cincinnati Ghostbusters as well.
Thank you.
And everybody, thank you for listening. You can listen to Horror Pop After Midnight on every podcast platform out there, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Horror Pop After Midnight Podcast, and on Twitter at Horror Pop. And also you can like my Facebook page, Horror Pop After Midnight. And everybody have a great evening.